of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Paul Cassidy.
Here.
Tanya Hogan, here. Beverly Rose.
Here.
John DeBoyer.
Here.
Mark Burchard.
Here.
Roy Martin, absent excused. Sarah Clemens.
Here.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda. I would like to add item 1I, purchase of brass fittings and type K copper in the amount of $13,462.50 from GL line 591000746.
Support. All right,
I would like to ask the chair if I could address everybody real quick.
go ahead.
Okay, so I just know there's been a lot of confusion going around about the establishing the sewer rate resolution. We've been working with the auditors, and we passed the resolution to keep things the same in December. I had done a typo and put the wrong rate. I put the previous rate. So what this resolution is doing is just correcting that mistake and keeping the sewer rates at exactly what they are. So nothing is changing. They are exactly what they have been since June 3rd, 2024 is when that resolution was passed. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody because it was just a mistake, and it's just to fix that.
All right, we'll go to public comment. Let me just add, and we're going to run this meeting, we're going to do 3 minutes, and we're going to abide by the rules, and please don't, if you're going to be disruptive, I am going to ask you to leave, so you've been warned. Go ahead, public comment?
My name is Tom Sweer, 9634 Lake Point, and I'm here as the chairman of the Board of Review for Clay Township. Let me start by saying I'm supposed to be home in bed recovering from emergency appendectomy surgery, but like everyone in this room, Clay Township is important to me. This submission was first drafted with the agenda to be addressing further education of the assistant supervisor. The agenda now covers her resignation, while the statement is still just as important. The assessing department is a vital part of our municipality. The Board of Review is an oversight public body and exists to assure that everything, as best as possible, placed on the assessment roll is accurate. Clay Township has a full-time position for both assessor and assistant assessor because they are needed. We are headed into the busiest season for the department, with new assessment letters going out as soon as, and March appeals right around the corner. The department will be fielding many calls in the next month. Clay Township taxpayers deserve the best educated assessing department. I am concerned with one person holding down a full-time position and an additional part-time position at the same time. There will be times when one valuable person, as great as she is at both roles, cannot be two people at once. For example, the December 9th Board of Review session started at 10 a.m. The December agenda, as short as it was, completed prior to the arrival of the assistant assessor. Whether there be one case or 30 cases, they merit equal attention. Unfortunately, she was handling an important duty as assistant supervisor. I am aware of how this person goes above and beyond with their time and help to the departments. It is my opinion that stretching the responsibilities of one person too far. Our assistant assessor has great heart and potential. I recommend Clay Township support her in any educational channels open to her. Unfortunately, it won't be the case now. But in closing, lesson learned, don't make the same mistake twice. Thank you.
I appreciate Tanya attempting to resolve the issue, but, Diane Miller, 7311 B Lane. The current water rates are $78.54 for the first 20,000 gallons. And then there's a charge of $4.05 for each additional 1,000 gallons. That is not what the resolution says. The resolution does not say that you get the first 20,000 with the water, with the sewer base. So that needs to be corrected. If you want to keep it the same as it was, you need to put in there that includes the first 20,000 gallons, which in my opinion is outrageous. Because Clay Township has an average household occupancy of 2.11 people. I have a household of 2. I don't use anywhere near 20,000 gallons. Therefore, all of us senior citizens are subsidizing big families that are using that 20,000 gallons with that rate. I think that there should be a sewer base, just like there's a water base, and you should get charged for every 1,000 gallons that you use, just like you do for the water. It should be fair pricing. Giving a freebie of 20,000 gallons when the majority of us don't use 20,000 gallons is an unfair pricing system, in my opinion. And in addition, our median age is 54.9 years old. We got a lot of old people here, and if these rates keep getting jacked up, we're not going to be able to afford to stay here, us senior citizens. In regards to the item 1G on the loan, where is that money, what budget's going to get cut to support this loan? I mean, the general fund is paid for by everyone, and the sewer, only part of us get benefits from the sewer system. So what are people that have septic fields, what services are being cut that they're not going to get for the next year because you're cutting the general fund by $545,000? This is, I just can't believe it. And this new sewer rates that just got passed around, the present bill is not $145.54 for the first 20,000 gallons, like this sheet says. It's $78.54. Thank you.
Maureen Borey, Middle Channel, Harson's Island. Can anyone on the board tell me approximately how much taxpayer money you're asking for tonight at this meeting, if you have any idea? Well, originally I said close to $2 million. It was $1,979,000. Now with the 13 that Tanya just added, we're over $2 million. This includes, well, you can look at the agenda and see. Seems extremely excessive to me, and I'm begging this board to seek a grant for the $16 million for the sewer plant to save our 3 communities from large increases in their bills. A few years ago, this wasn't even a concern for us because the county ran the sewer plant. St. Clair County refused to continue to run the plant as they had been doing since 1967. So now we have this newly created Southwater Municipal Authority. I've shared and published many memos between St. Clair County and Clay, Algonac, and Ira. These memos prove the 3 communities were not cooperating, and the county was no longer willing to accept liability of operations. I have repeatedly voiced my concerns that now the same leaders who would not fix the problems or commit to a plan, including you, Mr. DeBoyer, are now in charge of operations. After seeing over $500,000 on tonight's agenda for the Southwater Authority, I forced myself to painfully watch Algonac's council meeting. It was very revealing. At the 33-minute mark, Bryson claims that Clay is doing this. So I guess you've already had your backdoor meetings with Algonac and violated the Open Meetings Act amongst yourselves and decided this is moving forward. Tonight's vote's a mere formality. The people cannot afford what's coming. This is another multi-million-dollar bond, and no one on the authority, Algonac, Ira, or this board has even asked for a grant. Artie's board strapped Clay with a $4 million bond to pay retirees, not surprising, he's a retiree. Then I believe this board has approved an $8 million bond for the water projects being done now. Now you're going to propose a $16 million bond for all three communities, which is close to $6 million for Clay. Again, I am screaming, the people cannot afford this. Are there other options? Yes. Referencing the Algonac meeting again, Mr. Bryson mentions his talks with Lisa McLean, how she will help him give him $2 million for his community center and more. Was there a mention of asking her for help with this infrastructure project that's desperately needed? No. Why? Why does no one ask? I believe there must be money at the federal, state, or county level to help us with this. The project shouldn't even be considered before securing this funding. This is something that they want to back because it helps three communities with something that's very necessary, not some $2 million community center. Okay, we should be able to get an 80-20 match, meaning we would only have to pay 20%. So let me help you with the numbers. Bryson said the $16 million bond payback payment would be $1.2 million a year. Our portion, 35%, is $420,000 for 20 years, almost $500,000 for 20 years. If we secured the grant, the money needed would be $3.2 million, and our portion would only be $1.2 million in total. This could be paid back in 1 or 2 years, not 20, and no bond would be needed, no interest to be paid. After tonight, we already have put out $545,000 of the $1.2 million, leaving only a balance of $575,000. What a savings.
I'm sorry, Maureen. but-
I just have one more. Why would the board not secure a grant? Is it because you have to follow strict protocols? It's been brought to my attention that many people believe John is working for PCE as an inspector. If this is the case, that's a serious conflict of interest. In the past motions you've made to benefit PCE and the votes you've participated in, I'd ask you to abstain, Mr. DeBoyer. And think about the $25,000 you want to give COPE for outfitting these vehicles. $25,000, how many vehicles?
All right, Bob Coombs, 5643 South Channel. I'm here representing the businesses in Sans Souci. On October 14th, the board approved to move forward with the waste treatment plant. There was 2 questions that needed to be answered. One, could it be single-sourced, and the other, the language of the contract to satisfy the township attorney. It took until December 11th for the attorney to respond, and there was some negative things in the contract that they would like to have resolved. One of the problems was a contract. The contractor, the way they wanted to do it was have 3 contracts. One with Benich, the designer of the system. The second was with Algae Wheel, the people that were building the system, and then DVM, who was going to install. Well, today there was a meeting of all the principals that are involved in this. Everybody wants to move forward. Everybody's of an equal mind. We have found a contractor, Garland Construction, who will be the sole source for he will take on the project for the money left in the fund. He will operate working with Benich, Algae Wheel, and DVM. The single source problem has already been resolved. Senator Hertel was at the meeting. He approves of all this. The only thing we are asking for is that the township attorney work with the attorney representing us, Larry Scott, to come to a common ground where we can move forward with the project. This is something that could be done very quickly, and that the board then could move forward and we can get underway with this thing. It's already been decided to do it, so let's now get going on it. We're burning a lot of time. There's businesses that want to open in Sans Souci. There's buildings that are empty that people want to occupy and start creating revenue. So what I'm asking for is the township attorney work with Larry Scott, come to common ground, and we can get this thing underway. Thank you.
There's no further public comment. We'll move to bills payable. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we pay bills payable in the amount of $135,943.21.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
John DeBoyer,
Yes.
Mark Burchard,
Yes.
Tanya Hogan, yes. Paul Cassidy,
Yes.
Beverly Rose,
Yes.
Sarah Clemens.
Yes.
Move on to supervisor's report. I wasn't at the last meeting. I know Mr. DeBoyer told the public that I had never been to a water sewage plant meeting. He knows that's not true. That's a lie. And I have been. And I've looked at this issue closely. And I want to give you a little historical background. The county ran that plant for many years and then turned it over to,
Well, hold on a minute. I think you're confused between the water plant and the sewer plant.
okay, I'm talking about the sewer plant.
And I was talking about the
Okay.
water plant
All right.
bi-monthly meetings.
Okay. So I'm
So let
talking
me
about,
ask you,
let me just
correct your
add-
statement. Have you
just
ever
add-
attended one of those?
No, I haven't.
Okay, then I'm not a liar, am I?
No, not
Not a
today.
liar, am I?
Not today.
Not today?
Anyway, let's talk about the sewage plant, because I think we need to,
Well, get your
address
plan
this
straight
issue.
so we know what you're talking about.
Talking about the sewage plant. The situation is this. The county ran this for many, many years, turned it over to Ira Clay and Algonac a couple years ago. And they kind of left it in a position where there wasn't any accrued funding to do any improvements. And now I'm told different things. One thing I was told was it's going to take $12 million in improvements to fix the plant. And I had brought it up at a meeting once before about getting grant money. Well, the engineering is going to cost $1.5 million. So each community, that's what this is about, was each community would lend that board, a separate entity, the money so they could do the engineering. Fishbeck is the engineers. Now, the situation is that the authority really doesn't have any money. And so, as I understand it, is they've been pushing forward on a $12 million bond or a $16 million bond, whatever it is. I don't know. But I've been told 12, and then I was told that they want approval of up to 16 million. Well, I've talked to Lisa McLean's office, and they say that this is something that the federal government would give a grant to up to 80%. So if it's 12 million, it's a grant of 9.6 million, 2.4 to be spread for the 3 communities. Nobody's doing anything. They can't seek a grant till it's shovel-ready. And if you go get a bond, the federal government will say, okay, you took care of your problem. You can't get a grant later on to pay debt. They don't give it to you for that reason. They told me that because of our situation here, 3 communities, a major project, lower income area, this is the kind of project they do give grants on and would give a grant on. And yet nobody's talking about that. We're just going to go get a $12 million bond and lay it on the 3 communities?
That's a false statement.
Well,
Paul, that's a
what-
false statement. You're spreading, you talk about lying, you're spreading
Yeah,
false information
this
right
is
now.
what I've been told, John.
Who told you that?
I talked to Bill Roche and other people.
Bill Roche?
Yeah, and other people. I talked to Jim Endress.
Okay.
All right.
Then I guess you didn't listen very well, because Jim Enders has been in contact with Lisa McLean's office and talked to her assistant Mohammed probably at least once a week on grant money for this project.
And you know what?
Yeah, I do know what.
No, let me explain something to you. Why are you going to get a bond? You get that bond, you won't get that grant money.
That's not true.
That is true.
It's absolutely not true.
Absolutely is
Absolutely
true.
not true.
You will not get a grant to pay a debt.
Let me ask you this, Paul.
I
How
talked to
come-
an expert on
Let
it.
me ask you this. How come all of a sudden
No,
you're
listen.
interested in the South Water Sewage Treatment Plant? You've come to one meeting in 15 months.
No, more than one, but let
Really?
me just tell you something,
Really?
John. It's
And
come
now
to
you're
my
gonna
attention
grandstand
that
on
you
this
guys
issue?
aren't
You're gonna
getting a
grandstand
bond.
on this issue?
Aren't getting grant money.
Pardon me?
Have you applied for grant money?
It's-
You're the chairman. Have you applied for grant money?
It is being looked at, discussed with Lisa McLean's office.
I'm gonna give you
And
the
we're
answer
also
right
going
now.
to look at state grants also.
You're not getting a penny
Okay.
to pay debt.
Oh.
I'll tell you that.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm just amazed that you're suddenly interested. For 15 months, you haven't gave a
Don't
damn
you
about
worry.
what's going on.
Yeah, until I see that you're
And now all
screwing it
of a
all up.
sudden, you're going to jump
So
in here
just so
and
you know,
grandstand
John.
on this issue.
You know, John, you know,
Yeah, tell me, what? You called me a liar, Paul.
yeah, well, you are a
You
liar.
called me a liar.
You are. I called you that
And you
before.
didn't even
You
have,
are.
Hey, come on.
you didn't even have your, you know what? You want
Let's
to
go
gavel
back.
that?
Let's
Want to
go
gavel
back.
that?
Order, Jack.
Want to gavel that?
I'll gavel you is what I'll do.
Well, that's fine, go ahead,
Okay.
gavel me.
Okay.
You are
Stop
totally
talking.
false in what you're saying.
Stop talking.
Totally false.
It's not false.
Absolutely, it's false.
Nobody, you don't go get bond money and then try to get grant money. Because the bond, once you've got it, the government looks at it as you've taken care of your problem. You've already done it.
That's your opinion.
No, that's not my
That's your
opinion, that's
opinion.
fact.
That's your opinion.
No, that's fact. So in any event, they should be getting grant money first, and then any shortfall, go seek a bond. You're gonna burden all three communities with this bond. Why are you getting a bond already? Why don't you get
So
grant
wait a
money
minute,
first?
so wait a minute, Paul, let me
No,
ask you
I'm
this.
asking you. No, I'm asking you. Why didn't you get grant money first instead of just going with bond? Tell me that.
Because number one, the plant needs attention right now, okay? That's why.
I
Because,
think it cut in half. I'll hold
Okay.
on for a little.
Well, that's your answer. That's your
but
answer,
Paul,
John.
correct me if I'm wrong,
John, that's your
but
answer.
2 or 3 meetings ago, didn't you vote to approve this?
Approve, yes, I did.
Yeah, I thought you did.
And then I looked into it and said, you know what?
So you voted things and you don't know what you're looking at?
For an amount of money up to that amount. Doesn't mean you gotta take that bond in that amount. That's what you get approval for more than you need.
So what did you vote yes on? I'm confused.
No, you're not, John.
Yeah, I'm completely confused.
No, John.
You voted yes,
I'm
and
just
now
tell
you're
you right now,
gonna
John,
grandstand.
You don't get bonds through and then try to get grant money.
Okay.
You don't do it that way.
Okay.
So why don't you hold your horses and just simply look for the grant money? And then once you know, and I know you've got to have your engineering, it's got to be shovel-ready, right?
And that's what we're
You know
talking
that.
about right now. That's why we're doing
That's
it.
why you need $500,000 to get the engineering,
That's correct.
and that makes sense.
That's correct.
That's right. In any event, you can believe Honest John, or you can believe me. I'll be happy to bring in an expert on this issue and have him present it to the Township Board. I've talked to him. He had some reservation because he works for another community, but he said to me that if I needed him to come in, let him know, and he'd make a decision whether he'd come in. He's gotten grants and bonds for other communities, for the county of St. Clair. He knows what he's doing. I'd be happy to present him. But he's told me flat out, you get a grant, you get bond through, you can forget the grant money. So in any event, I don't believe that we should proceed with a bond. It's not our decision, it's the authorities' decision. But I don't believe we should proceed with a bond first, because that's backwards. In any event, we also have the sewage treatment plant on the island, which we did have a meeting on, and the reason I wanted the meeting was Benish led me to believe, and I think the rest of the board to believe, that they were going to do a turnkey operation, and that's not what it was. They sent a contract in, which is a boilerplate engineering contract, said you got to go agree with DVM and Algae Wheel and come sign 3 different contracts. I said, I don't see that happening. So they're working diligently to get a contractor, and I think they may have found one. And if they do and it works out, be happy to proceed with it. I would be, but I'm just one vote. These new water and sewer rates, Dee mentioned that it's not 145, it's 78.54. So that number needs to be corrected. But other than that, I think the rest of the numbers are correct. I will tell you that if we don't have to get a $4 million bond, that the capital charge on the sewer rate can probably be cut in half. And I'd like to see a grant cover it, because we do qualify. Other than that, I'll keep my comments to myself. And we'll proceed with the next item on the agenda. What did I do with the agenda here?
The consent agenda.
Consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda containing payroll from January 2026, board-approved checks from 1/26/26, the in-between checks from 1/29/26, and to 5/26, the meeting minutes from our last meeting from 1/26/26, and Cheryl Restivo's resignation.
Support.
Any discussion? The only thing I would do is I'd like to thank Cheryl for her work. She really was dedicated to helping the township. It's unfortunate that, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. We'll take a vote. Roll call?
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose? Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Unfinished business, there is none. New business, Waterworth presentation. I think Tanya's going to be able to bring it up on the...
This meeting is being recorded.
Everybody hear that? Hi, Jacob, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, you're here with everybody.
Hi, everybody. How's it going today? If I shared my screen, would you all be able to see that? If I go like this here. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for having me today. I'm Jacob. I'm a member of our client success team here at Waterworth. Like you've probably been told, we're running through our water and wastewater systems today. Waterworth, and I'll give a bit of an agenda of what we'll go over today, is we'll start off by kind of introducing what Waterworth is, what we do, and how we do it, and then I'll run you through the financial model on the water side, so you get an idea of what you're looking at our graphs. We'll talk about the solutions I've discussed with city staff, both on the water and wastewater side. So I will get started here if there's no questions. So Waterworth is a financial forecasting and revenue calibration solution adopted by hundreds of organizations across North America. Our job is to help utilities like yours plan financially, so you can avoid surprises, rate hikes, make smart choices about how you invest in your infrastructure. So we like to do something called a continuous process. So what this means, this isn't a static rate report that you're going to do and it sits on the shelf for 5 years until you do another one again. We want to be constantly interacting with staff and they get the most up-to-date information inputted to the model at all times. We also like to do something called full cost recovery. So we want to make sure we're planning for any of the expenses that may appear, whether that's operating, debt, or any capital expenses, and we're recovering all those costs through our revenues. And the last thing we do is communication and share the results of all the work we've been doing to elected officials like yourself to make sure that you're staying informed with what's going on in your community. So the outcomes of this presentation is I want you all to have a clear picture on where we currently stand and where we're going to be in the future, and also to have an actual plan. Then I also would love it if you would understand our tool, our process, and to have confidence in the results that we've come up with. In order to get these results, we first started by establishing a baseline, then we built that out over years, and then we determined our revenue needs and how we're going to fund for these expenses, and then we want to communicate, refine, and repeat as it goes along here. So if there's no questions about myself or Waterworth, I will get started here. So, starting off on the water side, this is a snapshot of our operating expenses. So this was actual data, your data taken from your accounting software, and we put it in here. So for 22, 23, 24, these are your actuals, and then we input the 26 budget there as well. In order to account for increased cost of goods, increased cost of labor. Oh, is everything okay there?
Yeah, I was just trying to make the
Just so we
screen
can have
bigger.
it full screen, because we cannot read that text or any of those numbers, and there's some of us, I heard behind me, you're talking a little fast, I know that.
Yeah, no worries, I can slow down, not a problem.
Unfortunately, this is as big as it goes on this. Let's try this. Does that help?
There you go.
Perfect. So I'll start again here. So what you're looking at is our operating expenses. So for all our historic years, that being 22, 23, 24, and 2025, we've taken the actual information from your software, from your financials, and input that into the tool. For every year after that, we've applied 3% inflation to all those numbers to account for things like the increased cost of goods, the increased cost of labor, things of that nature is what the 3% is accounting for. So these are all of our operating expenses input in here. The next piece that you're looking at, this chart is representative of the community's debt expense. And this is just on the water fund. So on the left, you'll see a darker shade of blue. That is the current debt service that the city has. So this is what we're currently paying off. You'll see it gets paid off by 2026. And then in this teal color here, we have proposed debt service. This is debt service that gets along with future projects or projects that we're currently undertaking. This is where this color is being represented. And we'll talk a bit more about those future projects in a second. That being right now. So in green, we have all of our capital expenses. So again, our historic years where we've actually been spending on capital, and we have the project in 2026, and then we put a placeholder in for the future to account for other capital expenses that may come up between 27 and 2037. So that's all going to be in green. Now when you put all of them together, we get a full picture of the revenue requirements for clay. So this is all the expenses on the water side that we're going to need to fund through revenues. Any questions on that right now? Nope? Okay, perfect. I will continue. Switching over to the revenue side of things, we have all the bars are representative of a year's worth of revenue. So the yellow on the bottom is representative of our sale of service. So this is the actual sale of water to our community. This is the base fee and the variable fee to make up our revenue. And then the bars on top of that are other operating revenue, developer contributions, non-operating revenue. And then the big red bar you see in 2026 is showing the borrowed funds or the loans entering the water fund in right there. So, looking at our cash position, so when you put those together, we want to calculate what our cash position looks like going forward. So in 2026, we had $4.8 million in cash. Now a lot of that gets spent on that major project that I showed earlier in capital expenses to bring us down in 2027. And then as you can see, there's a slight bump and our cash position drops down below zero by 2025. Now, keep in mind, this is just status quo. This is nothing that's done, no rate increases or anything. This is just where the financial picture is right now. That operating threshold was this is the red dotted line. That's our minimum balance on where we want to keep our cash. That was about $1 million in 2026. And it grows over time as it's a combination of of our debt service, our operating expenses to make sure we have a healthy cash position for the community. So when we put all this together, we get our status quo long-term financial model. Now, if you remember, all the area graphs in the background are representative of our expenses, and all the bars in the foreground are representative of our revenues. So you see in a year like 2026, where we spent more than we earned, then our cash position drops down to represent a deficit. And in years like in 2023, 24, we earn more than we spend, so our cash position increases. So any questions on status quo or anything I've showed you so far? Oh, all right, I will. So these are the proposed solutions that we come up with the city staff, and that is the 3% increase to our water base fee and our water usage fee. You see our revenues are now hitting all of our expenses, and we're able to maintain a healthy cash position above that operating threshold that was set out. Any?
That 3% increase every year or just 1 year?
3% increase every year. So what this actually looks like to the rates here is, so our current, we have the $37 base fee and then $5.30 for every 1,000 gallons. The proposed is $38.10 base fee. That debt fee stays the same, but then the usage fee goes up to $5.40.
What's the debt fee? Is that for the bond, the debt fee?
There's no debt fee on this. It's eliminated, it's brought into the price of the water. The $30 cap charge is going to remain with the $37 fee. It's going to be $67.
So the $30 debt fee is actually the capital improvement fee?
Well, it's not really going to be called that, I don't think. We're just going to call it a water charge.
So the base fee is going to change to 67. He doesn't have it right.
It's
Well, I
gonna be
think what he's
67.
presenting is that other, like the fee that we have on our bill now, the capital improvement fee, I think he just misworded it to debt fee.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But the proposed is not going to have a debt fee, Paul is saying. So the proposed is going to be 6810 for the base. Correct, Paul?
Well, I think it's going to be $67, right, Jacob?
That's what it currently is.
Plus, it's going to remain that, correct?
3% more than that.
Well, I'm right, 3% more.
Mhm.
And then, what, in another month, it's going to go up another 3.5%? Is that it?
Yeah, so we're in the model I just showed you, it's 3% right now. 3.5% in July, and then 3% every time after that, or every year after that.
So it's going to be 6.5% by the end of July. Can you go to the sewer?
Yep. So sewer, this is, I won't do the whole build-up of what I did on the water side, but we can just start with looking at our status quo model. So we have the cash position dropping down below in 2031. You see the major projects in 2026 and the debt service that's associated with that. And then we have the operating threshold and our cash position targets on the sewer side. So the proposed solution is a 3% increase to the rates, just like on the water side, and then the institution of the $32 debt service fee to pay for the debt service associated with the project in 2026.
Is that the bond that they're proposing? What's the debt?
Yeah.
What's your number on the bond?
4
I
million,
believe
isn't it?
9.
it is, let's take a look here. I have it at 3.4.
Well, it should be 5.6
No,
million.
no, no,
according to
no, no.
Artie Bryce.
He's not talking the sewage treatment plant. He's talking our improvements right now.
Okay. So the $8 million bond, right? I thought it was an $8 million bond.
It's split between water and sewer.
So we're going to have a $32 debt service fee on top of what's presently being charged. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm told it was $76.54?
Yeah.
$78.54. So we're going to add $32 to that, correct?
Yes.
And 3%.
And then
And
there's going to be a
3%.
3% and a 3.5% in the next couple months, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's with a $4 million bond to the guarantee on the wastewater treatment plant. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that also includes the $3.5 million bond on our township small diameter sewer project, correct, Jacob?
Yes, sir.
Now, if we didn't have a $4 million bond on the sewage plant and it was only $1 million, what would happen to that $32 charge?
I don't have that scenario modeled out, but what we talked earlier, I believe, is we had to cut it in half, or we could cut it in half.
So it'd be $16.
Well, according to Algonac, it's going to be a $16 million bond. 35% of that is 5.6 million, not 4 million.
Well,
Can I ask you how many people are paying the sewer fee?
I believe it's 3,100.
This is town hall.
I thought we get to ask questions,
All right.
John.
some
And
people
I
have
mean,
questions.
we have 1,000 people that move out.
That's fine.
Okay,
This could go on all night.
okay, Maureen, we'll cut it off there. John wants us to abide by the rules, and I think he's right.
You did ask if we had any questions, so was he directing that to the board or to us?
Well,
People who live here pay the-
why don't you wait until after he's done presenting things? I think I'm covering the basis for what I think needs to be covered. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Jacob?
No, that's everything that we've discussed at this point.
All right. Thank you for your information.
Okay, great. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so at this time.
So just to summarize, Jacob, real quick, on the water end, we're looking at a 3% increase with an additional 3.5.
Yeah.
3% each year thereafter,
Yeah.
with a 3% increase on our debt charge on our water. Or, I mean, our base charge, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Debt charge stays exactly where it's at,
Plus 32.
correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And on the sewer end, give us the percentages again on the rates.
So it'll be for the base fee, and the usage fee, it'll be 3% now, and then 3.5% in July, with then 3% every year thereafter, and then the $32 debt fee for the life of the loan.
Which is actually labeled currently as a capital charge. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's a debt charge.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
See ya.
Everyone.
Hey, is there any way we can get supporting documentation? And just what he just said?
I'm sure.
He'll give it to us. Go to 1B, presentation for Nature Park. Ted?
I actually received an email this morning that they are not ready to present yet, so they will not be here today.
Let me just bring everybody up to speed on this. There's some property down the street. They wanted to rezone it. We didn't rezone it for them. They're interested in selling it to the DNR, or to us with a DNR grant. The situation would be, we would have to pay 25%, the DNR would fund the rest, and make it a nature park. If the owner reduced the price by 25%, then we wouldn't have to come up with the 25%. He would just receive what the DNR would give him. And so they're helping us put together paperwork to get that property, and I think it's around 40 acres. They would make it a nature park. So with that, we'll go to 1C, police temporary hire, Sergeant William Cope. I think Steve's here.
Yes, sir. We were in the process of getting all of our new cars in. Detective William Cope was essential for 20 years in assisting in outfitting these vehicles. He knows the vehicle's computer system, the wiring system, the harnesses, all the ins and outs of the vehicles. We'd like to do the temporary hire. I believe there was a not-to-exceed point on the letter that was submitted, and it's just saving tens of thousands of dollars to do in-house outfitting instead of having it outsourced. So I can answer any questions to the best of my ability that I can, but...
Do you know what the savings is going to be if we use him?
I don't have the exact number, but you can imagine if you went to a shop and paid a mechanic at a rate of whatever you usually pay them at, and then have our officer do it in-house at 35. And again, he knows the vehicles inside and out, so he's already been through the process. The turnaround time is...
I heard someone say something about $25,000.
That number does not, $25,000 to outsource it?
No, for him to do it.
No, I don't believe that's accurate at all.
Would we end up paying him hourly, do you know?
What's that?
Would we end up paying him an hourly amount?
Yes, pay him hourly at $35 an hour.
Yeah, it states it in the letter on the agenda.
Okay, all right. I have no questions. Anybody is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to temporary hire retired Detective Sergeant William Cope at the amount of $35 an hour, not to exceed a time frame of 90 days to do the work for the police department.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? We'll do a roll call.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes, but I have one question. We had a line item on the budget for that?
It will come out of PD. Yes, it'll come out of the PD.
Thank you so much.
Okay. We'll go to 1D, sanitary system improvement lining, 7th pay application $407,144.47 out of GL 590-000-250.03. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to pay the application number 7 for the sanitary system improvement CIPP lining for $407,144.47.
Support.
Any discussion? We do a roll call?
Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes.
Okay, 1E, purchase solenoid rebuild kits for the splash pad. Lance got a $3,361.14 bid on that, correct, Lance?
Yes. There's 2 bids, and one buys it from the other, so that's the reason why one is a little more than the other. They just mark it up. But I'm getting the solenoid rebuild kits directly from Graz now, which is the company that makes the valves. The 3/4 of the valves in there, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 diaphragms that have been replaced, and they are all original at this point. And last fall, when we were winterizing, most of them were leaking through. So it's time for us to upgrade and change everything. You're not changing the base valve itself, it's just the guts that get changed. The solenoid valve, the little popper valve, and then the diaphragms that get replaced.
All right.
Makes sense.
We have a motion?
I'll make a motion to purchase of the solenoid rebuild kits for the splash pad in the amount of $3,361.14 out of GL 208-000-93200.
Support.
All right. Any further discussion? Do a roll call?
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes. We'll do 1F, Paymart payment application, water project, $430,492.50 out of GL 590-000-250.03. Do we have a motion to pay the second app?
I'll make a motion to pay for Paymar's payment application number 2 for the M29 water main project in the amount of $492.50 out of GL line 591-000-250.03.
Support.
Do a roll call?
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
For 1G, Resolution 2026-01, authorize a loan from the general fund to the sewer fund in the amount of $545,000 to pay engineering design costs associated with a capital improvement infrastructure project of the South Water Municipal Utility Authority. And it's a resolution to authorize the loan from the general fund to the sewer fund so that we can lend it to the authority. We have a motion?
I make a motion to authorize a loan from general fund to the sewer fund in the amount of $545,000 to pay engineering design costs associated with capital improvement infrastructure project of South Water Municipal Authority.
I'll support that.
Now, if someone come up and walked through the door and said that, I got a grant to cover that, we can put that on hold or cancel it without any cost?
I would think you'd want to do that at this point, Mark, because you can't get a grant without it being shovel-ready.
Okay.
So that won't happen.
Okay.
Is this what we talked about 2 weeks ago? Is this what you, Bev, talked about
Partially,
and explained moving the money?
yeah.
And Bev, I got a question. So if we were to do this, does this put the general fund in any situation that we would have to cut services for anything?
Not at all.
Well, we got couple million, correct?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, I know.
We can lend water, sewer. They can't lend general fund.
And we're going to lend to sewer at the interest rate that you would have gotten had you invested this money?
Absolutely. The general fund will not lose a penny.
Okay.
Take a vote.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
1H, Resolution 2026, maintaining existing sewer rates and charges. Resolution 2026-02, maintaining existing sewer rates and charges.
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2602, maintain existing sewer rates and charges.
Is this going to include the percentage increases?
This does not, this just
Yeah,
makes
okay.
our, because when we decided not to do anything, this matches
Okay, just
what
checking.
the previous one was, and that's what our auditors told me that we needed to do. We need to make them match, and I have the one showing, like, I have the one from 24 printed out, if you'd like to see that it matches.
Okay, so we have a motion on that?
I made a motion.
All right, second?
I'll support it.
All right. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go to 1I, $13,462.59 for Lance again.
Yes, on this, I made a mistake on the copper part. We, in the contract, it shows us using 12 feet of copper for each meter setter. We don't need 12 feet of copper for each meter setter. The copper can be covered from each one that the way the contract was written. The only thing I do need is the brass couplings in order for the stubs off the water main that were not figured in.
All right, do we have a motion then?
Remember what that figure was.
Is that quantity right, Lance, the three?
I think it's high at this point, but I have to count for the side streets and stuff like that, so I have to recount that. It will not exceed that I will say.
We have a motion?
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't have questions.
So what's the dollar amount then?
I don't have the figures. Drew's got the figures, John. I don't have the figures with me.
$13,462.50 as well.
Yeah, but that's changed.
It won't be for the copper, it'd be for the fittings only,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
in which there's 3 quotes for each fitting, and Ferguson was the cheapest on the quotes.
So the cost will actually be less?
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Do you know about how much less, Lance?
Whatever what's the cost of the copper there for Ferguson,
The
please?
tubing, it's 5,500.
So it's just the couplings at $24.50
Oh.
times 325 quantity?
Yes.
79,62.50.
796,250?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the brass fittings, couplings for the water department in the amount of $7,962.50.
I'll support that.
Any further discussion? Do a roll call.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll go to public comments. Any further public comment? Maureen?
Well, I'm just going to say, I feel discriminated because you've been letting public comments go on for as many minutes as they want to talk.
I've
And I have-
been keeping tabs tonight, so.
Well, I have a very important message, and you're going to cut me off.
Well, I'm
You
sorry.
haven't cut people off for months, and now you're going to do this when I show up?
No, No, Maureen.
I can't, I mean, but if you want to read after I read it, okay. So first of all, what Dee was saying is, Tanya, it doesn't say up to $20,000 on that resolution. It doesn't say up to 20,000 gallons, which it needs to, because that's what we're paying now. Now you're increasing it because it doesn't say up to. That's what Dee said. Bev, $25,000 is what it costs for Steve Cope, or Bill Cope, to do this. $35 an hour times 8 hours is $280. $280 times 90 days is $25,200.
I didn't dispute that.
Well, somebody said, is this $25,000? And someone said, no, it's not that much.
Wasn't me.
Those are the numbers. I mean, but you're the treasurer. I wish you would have spoke up and told people that. Okay, and the bond. Paul, you've got the numbers wrong. I listened to Artie's, 16 million is what they want to do. This guy's figuring it out to 3 million. It's 5.6 million will be our portion of that bond. I was elected by the people twice. I've served on this board for 5 years trying to do the right things, not for any personal gain, but for the good of the community. I ask the hard questions, and I'd like to see someone on this board do that. Be honest and ask yourselves, are you doing this for the community or for yourselves? People are watching, and I believe they will be judging, so I recommend you proceed with caution, especially in the area of spending. Be frugal, pretend the money is your own. After all, we're a small community, and there's only so much money out there. Many are seniors on a fixed budget, struggling families. Paul says this bond is there. Go after it, okay? I got a message for each of you. Of course, I'm not going to have enough time to get them out, but I will do my own video and put it on social media. I'm going to start with you, John Bully, who has difficulty controlling your temper, DeBoyer, who I believe got most of his votes on the tailcoat of his brother, Jay, whose name is well known in politics. Initially, you didn't run for this position, nor were you even interested. But then Artie explained about the Southwater Municipal Authority being developed, and you suddenly seemed to see an opportunity, right? A trustee seat was open for, I think, 8 months or more. Supervisor Bryson had several candidates, but didn't interview anyone or replace her until this opportunity came up and you agreed to take her spot. I asked to attend the meetings while the authority was being formed. I was refused. I asked to be appointed. I was refused. Why? What were you all trying to keep from me and the public? You were appointed as Clay's representative on the authority, and I asked you multiple times for updates. I said, please tell us. You never give that information. Answer these questions. What is Clay paying now per month compared to what they were paying when St. Clair County ran the plant? How many vehicles have you purchased and why? What is the $16 million for? Will it solve the excessive infiltration and inflow issues that the county was so concerned about? I have over 300 pages from the county if anyone in the community should like to see the receipts, as they say. The actual work is estimated at $13 million. Have you asked your brother to help us with an infrastructure grant? Have you asked Artie Bryson to talk to Lisa McLean? He seems to have her on speed dial the way he talks. Or do you have the contractors already lined up and feel a grant might interfere with that? I want to believe that you're here to serve the community and do the right thing. Show us you will, John, instead of putting us in debt. This project dollar difference you can make for Clay is $5 million and a chance to help Algonac and Ira as well, to save millions of dollars. That goes for everyone on this board. Pressure needs to be put on them. Demand the information, get educated, be tenacious, and take action. All right, do you want to continue to read for me, Jerry?
I think we should let you keep on going.
Well, Paul says no.
He can say whatever he wants. He's not speaking for her.
He's going to
He
read
wants to- I don't
my
care what
form,
he
so
does.
can I just continue to
He
say
can
it?
have 3 minutes.
All right, he's going to read my form.
No.
He's going to read what I'm saying, so it's the
Well,
same thing.
He
All right,
can tell us
go ahead
himself.
and read it, Jerry. Right up here, I got some stuff for, let's go with Paul next.
You want a break, I'll read.
Well, then, just go in order then. Here's Tanya.
Okay. Tanya, the way I remember it is you had convinced to run for this position, and deep down in your heart, you know this is true. I designed your signs, your literature, coached you, and Paul paid. When you got elected, I believe you got assistance unlike Paul and Jerry and Paul. And it seems you quickly laid a path to side with the people who helped you and You laid a path aside to people who helped you and who you believed would make sure you would continue to keep this job. It's flexibility, 4-day work week, and excellent benefits. You speak diplomatically to the public, but in my opinion, mainly for your own selfish reasons, including helping yourself, your friends, who are quickly brought into positions in the township and on the board. Please take your own advice. I heard you say many times, we can do better. Bev, you didn't put your name on the ballot, but your husband did and lost. I have to believe that you are both equally loved in the community, and with that logic, you most likely would have also lost. But now you are appointed as trustee and have managed to move yourself up to a higher paying position as treasurer, assuming, Clay, you can handle the position. But I believe the taxpayers are still paying Christy Hilton to do much of the job. I understand that you have connections as you worked for the Clay PD for many years. And I assume you are being helped and respected by the office staff, which, as we know, was not the case for Galka or Cassidy. I'm thankful that you have come out of retirement to help, but please ask the hard questions and demand that we attempt to get a grant for this sewer plant. Please ask questions about all spending. Don't just go with the flow. After all, you are now the treasurer and responsible for finances. From what I see, we will be in financial trouble soon. Roy, well, I don't think you ever would have campaigned and ran to earn this position, but heck, it seems you are one of the good old boys, and they know how they can count on you, right? Being on the DDA, Downtown Development Authority, it seems you are good at helping spend over $500,000 tax dollars annually, which I think included your new sign, help for your other businesses, friends. Is that correct? Clay workers also seem to count on you for food and good conversation at your bowling alley. Please, Roy, lay off the grease and butter, especially for the Clay PD. Could half of them still pass the physical they had to take to get in? We need them healthy and fit. Do better. Sarah, congratulations on those sidewalks on Forkett paid by our Downtown Development Authority, I believe, right? Don't know what residential
Jerry,
sidewalks have to do with...
Jerry, we're at
Okay.
the point.
Somebody else
Thank you.
We're not getting sidewalks that I'm aware of, are we?
Not that I know of.
Okay, just making sure.
Sarah, congratulations on those sidewalks.
I'm
on
sorry, can I
Fulford.
just get your name for
Oh,
the,
I'm sorry. Paula Burberry.
thank you.
Sarah, congratulations on those sidewalks on Fulkert paid for by our Downtown Development Authority, I believe, right? Don't know what residential sidewalks have to do with developing our downtown, but glad you got them on your street. You mentioned that you would help with internet online presence, social media, and so on. How about starting with our pathetic, excusable website? The latest budget is from 2023. The MERS bond or the new bond for the water projects is not listed. No info is being shared publicly about this $16 million proposed bond, and maybe John can share some info about the South Water Municipal Authority and what goes on at those meetings. People want our website to contain the important information. Please contribute and be useful. Don't just vote on what we are told. Ask questions and serve the community since you've been awarded the seat. Mark Switzerland, Bochard. I've seen that you want to do the right things and will speak out, but it seems the nice Mark who doesn't want to rock the boat and just goes with the flow is who generally shows up. That's not what Clay needs, especially now. So ask the hard questions. Just don't do what you're told. We are counting on you. Paul, we've talked about my disappointments with you. I counted on you to lead and even assisted you in that effort. You have agreed that you should have listened, but now it may be too late. People wanted change, but it needed to be swift and meaningful, and I believe you unintentionally dropped the ball, attempting to give everyone a chance to prove themselves. But we know people generally don't change. Thank you for remaining on the board, but please continue to fight for what needs to be done and demand respect, speak out loud and clearly. Hopefully you will all take me seriously and look into this grant funding. Our 3 communities deserve it, and I'm thinking you may be hearing from them after this meeting. So be prepared to answer for your actions. Maybe even Pam, Mertez, and Wendy Guys will speak up. After all, how many times have we heard from them about the $150,000 that was basically free COVID monies and not even going to affect our bills? How many times does $150,000 go into $16 million? Over 106 times. I expect they will be on the rampage. Bring it, Wendy and Pam, and call out the dogs like you do on social media for support. Seems this amount of money warrants that type of action, in my opinion. I hope the people understand how much their water bills and sewer bills will be increasing. Once the bond is in place, it's too late. So I will call on all the citizens to contact their leaders and demand action of don't complain when you're paying hundreds of dollars more. That's over.
Any other further public comment? Board member comments? Mr. DeBoyer?
Yeah, first off, the South Water meeting every month is an open meeting to the public. Anybody's more than welcome to show up. There's no secrets behind closed door agreements. And as far as the bonding and process that we agreed to here, this board, we all voted on that. We approved that, including you, Paul. By the way, that's a not unpaid position that I do as the liaison to the South Water. If anybody on this board would like to take that position, I'll gladly give it to you. So to answer some questions, there was no vehicles purchased at the sewage treatment plant. Yes, it does solve issues. Every time we get a large rain, we are on the verge of overflowing at that plant. A big part of this project is wet weather retention. And that keeps the water from flowing into the St. Clair River and polluting the St. Clair River. As far as contractors lined up, I resent that accusation. You know, if we want to talk about behind closed doors and contractors lined up, I think maybe the previous group that was up here with you, Paul, might want to look hard at that, maybe look in the mirror. I don't know if OHM rings a bell. And it's ironic that the people who come up here and complain and make all these accusations are the people that walked out on our community and quit their job on this board. So just a little bit of information so everybody understands exactly what we're trying to accomplish. That sewage treatment plant is 65 years old and has never had any attention for the most part as far as upgrades. When the county road commission who oversaw it had it, they did very little. So we're in a position now that we can either do one of two things. We can address it, and I know nobody wants rate increases, but we can address it and be responsible, or we can hide our head in the sand and pretend like it's not a problem. And then when it blows up, the same people that are here tonight screaming about rates and everything else will say, why didn't we do something? So I do want to clear the air because you called me a liar, Paul. I want to ask you a question. Have you been to a water plant meeting since you've been supervisor?
You asked me earlier, didn't you?
And I'll answer it for you. Zero. None. Okay? Have you been to a South Water sewage treatment meeting? One.
No, more than one.
How many?
Several.
Really?
Yeah.
I must have missed it.
I've been to Ira a couple
That's the
times.
only one you went to, is the one at Ira Township.
Listen, you invite the public to come to your meeting, you should go over there. You know where they have the meeting there? I think it's a closet. It's about 6 chairs in it.
No, it's a sewage treatment plant. It's their conference room.
I think it's a closet. You couldn't get any of the public in there. But let's go ahead, John, go ahead.
So just, I want you to clarify your statement, because
Just keep going, John.
you said that I'm the liar.
You are.
How many meetings as township supervisor have you been to at the water plant or the sewage treatment plant?
It won't change
One.
the fact that
One.
you're a liar.
One.
Yep, you say that.
So, and I do have a question on the meeting in regards to the algae wheel plant. Do you, are we going to get updated on what that meeting was about, or where we're going with that?
Sure. I'll take care of that.
Perfect. I'm done.
Ms. Clemens, you want to yell at me about anything?
No, I'm not gonna yell at you today. I'm just gonna address that, as far as I'm aware, Folkert is not part of the DDA district.
I think it is.
If it is, I don't know anything about
No, it's
sidewalks.
not.
It's not, though.
No, it's not.
It's not.
I talked
However-
to Semco about trying to get you sidewalks.
Listen, it's neither here nor there. It's been pushed around. I think the previous administration had mentioned sidewalks one time. Somebody heard it, ran with it. I had mentioned sidewalks the one time. I know some of my neighbors want them, some of them don't want them. I honestly could care less. I have said it repeatedly. I want the speed limit on that road to slow down. There are people that walk, that ride their bikes, that have animals. It's 50 miles an hour, and it's dangerous. There's a lot of kids. There was never a subdivision there, and now on that end, there's a subdivision. But as far as I know, and Mr. Cassidy said it as well, there's no talk to get sidewalks. Because something was mentioned a couple times, doesn't mean that we're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to put sidewalks down Folkert Road. I don't know, I do know who ran off with that and is pushing that narrative, but it's not happening as far as I know, and if it does happen, it has nothing to do with me. Other than that, everyone, have a great 2 weeks. Stay warm.
Ms. Hogan, anything like that?
I agree.
It's like a drag strip, there's 3 cars.
Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, there's been a lot of accusations flying around, and I don't know who is starting rumors about me hiring my friends, but I take my job very seriously, and I like to think that I have an open mind and I'm not coached by anybody. And I pull a department head in and let them interview the people with me, and I go through every candidate, and I have not personally known anybody that has been hired. So I do take offense to that, because I do take this job seriously, and I look at the facts, and there's a lot of misinformation that is spread. And I hope everybody has a great 2 weeks and stays warm.
Ms. Rose?
Taxes are due on the 17th. Our audit is in full swing. They spent about 2.5 weeks here. It is still continuing. They asked for proofs, and we have to send them via email to UHY. I'd like to tell Cheryl that I hope she has a wonderful job opportunity. She was always very nice. She did a lot of things in the township offices that went unnoticed, and I just want her to know that I did notice. That's it.
You don't have anything to say, do you, Mark?
Planning Commission on the 28th, we have a public hearing concerning several issues. You can get everything on the website. I think it's posted. 28th? 25th. On the 25th. And so some of you don't know, I am the board representative on the Planning Commission, so that's another job that I get. I get $40 a month on that, so, or when I have a meeting. And I'm not even going to try to defend anybody on this board, because it's all contrived issues that they think in their head that this is what the board does. I sit on this board. You may not hear me rant and rave, whatever the case may be, but I do in contact with at least the administration staff, if not a daily basis, but definitely several times a week, to find out what is going on. So I already know what's going on. I know what the answers are going to be. I do my work as a trustee, and if you don't know what a trustee is, please go on any Google or what it is and get the definition of a trustee. And I'm talking to you. Okay? Thank you.
All right. The algae plant, I had a meeting with Senator Hertel. He'd very much like to see that come about. I told him that because I thought Bennett said they were going to do a turnkey, or maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I remember, And then they gave us a contract to do $300,000 worth of engineering and said, go contract with DVM, go contract with LG Wheel, and get 3 contracts. I said, I'm not going to support that because you have a falling out with one. What are you going to do with the other 2? So I told them that maybe they should do a joint venture, but that didn't gain any traction. And so meeting with Senator Hertel, there is a local, I guess, a developer that's willing to present us with a contract to finish the work for the amount of money that is remaining.
Paul, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is there a way, like, any other board member can get invited to these meetings? Because I had to hear about this from our auditor, and that would be something like I would like to attend if this is what we're going to be doing moving forward.
Yeah. In any event, he'd like to see it come about, and we talked about maybe spinning it off to a nonprofit. That was discussed. The smartest thing we should do is, I think, is see what proposal would come forth from this developer, and see if our attorney would agree to it with that developer, and if that's the case, then I would think that we could move forward in that fashion. If that's doesn't work out, we can try to get the nonprofit on the island to do it, but that would require some legislation work. And quite frankly, I've been criticized for ruining the project, especially by Artie Bryson, that I was the one that has destroyed the opportunity for the plant on the island. And all I did was say we weren't going to come up with $6.6 million. And it was Mr. Bryson who kept thinking, I'll get $2 million from the state again, and another $2 million from Lisa McLean, and that never came about. And I just couldn't see moving forward without knowing where we're going. It was the decision to do that was poorly fashioned to begin with. But so far as sewage treatment plant here, I did vote to support it with bond money. But I will tell you that I would think Artie Bryson, the wizard, could get us a grant, and because he knows all about them. And I'm just sitting there saying, look, I would not support, we don't make the decision, the authority does. That includes Mr. DeBoyer. And I don't think that anything should be done without attempting to get that grant money, despite the imperative nature of getting the work done. And I'm telling you right now, I'll bring an expert in if he'll come in and talk. He works for another community. He's done a lot of these things. I'll talk to him again. But he made it clear to me, you get a bond, you can forget grant money, because they don't pay on debt. And if we get a bond, it's over with. That amount of assessment to each member of our community and every household is cast in stone, and we don't need to accept such a debt. If Lisa McLean says we can get $9.6 million on a $12 million job, I'm all for it, and I'll keep my eyes open and make sure that we make every effort to do that. But to move forward without making any attempt at that if it's not nonfeasance, it's at least misfeasance. We should absolutely try to get grant money. And they can't get it till it's shovel ready, and the engineering has to be done, and that's why we got to lend the money up front. And so that's where I think we stay. OHM, hey, listen, I don't know these people from OHM from ABC. All I can tell you is they were able to do the second half of that study. Now, these women, they've been on me for a year. You spent $150,000 you shouldn't have spent. Well, I hope they'll come to our meetings from now on and talk about $9.6 million that we should be trying to get from the federal government. I hope they start whining about that, because I'll whine with them. Other than that, I have nothing further. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This developer, in regards to the algae wheel,
Yeah.
who is that? Where did they come
What
from?
was the name?
Garland. It's one of the Rizzo, it's under the Rizzo umbrella, but it would be the Garland Construction Company, not Development Company. And they carry enough bonding. It's already bonded 3 ways. As far as I'm concerned, can I speak from here?
Yeah, go ahead. If Mr. DeBoyer has any more questions, he can ask you.
Okay, start with that.
So Bruce, was this somebody that you contacted?
Yes.
Okay.
And because the lawyer, how the township board gives direction, I've had Bev and I've Tanya tell me that you couldn't do a single source because the lawyer said you couldn't.
Well, we're past that.
No,
Let's go
but I
to
want to
the-
bring that up because it has to do with what the lawyers are doing now. Turns out the lawyer never said that in the context about the sewer plant. And right from the get-go, this board made it single source before, back in '23, by going with algae wheel only. But if you give the township lawyer the directive to only, is this a podium? And you say it to a lawyer? No, this is a rest for somebody speaking. Oh, no, it isn't. It's just a piece of wood. A lawyer can always find a problem. We've got 3 contracts they're willing to sign. Paul doesn't like it easier. Your lawyer doesn't. But it'd be the same as hiring PCE to hire DVM. You didn't sign a contract with DVM with PCE. You signed it with, you have a regular contract with PCE. You signed one with DVM. And that's how contracts work. They don't want to do this. So I've contracted with these people to run it through. You'll be bonded through DVM, through Bennett. Algae Wheel's already paid. So that money, I just can't get over how this keeps dragging on when it's not a dime out of the township money.
Bruce, part of it was Bennett told me one thing, and then...
Well, I think they
And
explained
that's cost us a few months.
explained their value engineering quite at length here, how they were going to do it, but there could be a misunderstanding. I understand that. But that being said is, brought in Garland now, who has also got plenty of depth to their building, to sign the contract with those 3, and the only thing the township will have to do is sign the contract with them. But if you hand it to your lawyer with the understanding is, find a problem, he will find a problem. If it's a standard contract, go with it.
Have them get us a contract, and then we'll submit it to Seaver.
Because
every month this drags on, costs us about $8,000.
I know it does.
It's not even the money aspect.
Year 3. Or it's over $100,000.
I know it.
And we've got 2 businesses ready to open if
All I
they
can
get
tell you
this.
is, we have to have a
But
contract we can rely upon.
You guys passed it on October 14th. The lawyer responded on December 11th. Unless I wouldn't have went out and got a contractor willing to do this, it would just have died to whenever, because nothing else is going on with it. I can't quite grasp the fact that one of the things that's bothering me is trying to get PCE. Bev told me PCE didn't work on it for a long time. There's 1 month they didn't send a bill. That was April of '25. Every other month they worked on it. It would help if we got the work product from them for what the township has paid for, $280,000 at least, because I just got a copy of that today from the township. And we don't even have a survey for the property for that, which I don't think there is one. But that would help with Bennett and Garland if we could get some work product brought to us that $280,000 is paid for.
So, I get all that. So what does this 4th party bring to the table? What?
Trying to please your lawyer to put it in a single bowl contract. That's all it's for. It doesn't have a purpose in my mind, but it'll make your lawyer, with any luck, if we, on a timely basis, get him to respond, you take the 3 contracts and he just puts it together and writes it as a single contract that he'll be responsible for it and make sure it gets done for that project, just like any other project, and he's bonded to make sure it finishes.
So the cost of the project just went up if we do that?
No, actually, I don't think so. Because I'm pulling some strings, hopefully for $1 this will happen.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.